2 months to the day after Donald Trump's name was removed from the exterior facade of the Kennedy Center, the center's new board of directors, handpicked by Donald Trump, of course, is once again trying to get his name on the wall. You'll recall that a federal judge had ordered Trump's name to be removed, ruling that only Congress has the authority to rename this institution. But now MS Now reports that, quote, the board voted to inscribe restored and renovated by President Donald J. Trump under the building's name, according to Democratic Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, who filed the original lawsuit seeking to remove Trump's name from the building and block the closure for renovations. Trump has stocked this board with some of his most diehard allies, including White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, former Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Fox News personalities Laura Ingraham and Maria Bartiromo. They also voted today to close the main building for 2 years for renovations, again defying a federal judge's direct order. The center's future has been in limbo for months at this point amid a backlash from ticket buyers and a slew of canceled performances. The National Symphony Orchestra, which normally calls the center home, did not announce a new season, and a number of touring Broadway shows, including Hamilton, are performing elsewhere in protest of Trump's takeover. But despite the lack of subscribers, an empty performance schedule, and an imminent 2-year closure, the White House is painting a rosy picture, telling MS Now, quote, under President Trump's bold leadership, the Kennedy Center is on its way to becoming the finest cultural institution anywhere in the world. Joining me now are Harry Sisson, political content creator and social media commentator, and Aaron Parnas, a digital journalist and author of The Parnas Perspective on Substack. So, Aaron, I want to start with you. Trump's hand-picked board says the show must go on, despite the fact that the Kennedy Center is closed and has lost both its audience, its performers, its tour guides, everyone else. They want to honor Trump for bringing the center back from, quote, the brink of disaster. Do you think they will succeed?
No, I don't. And I mean, I have a newborn baby at home, and they are more stubborn than she is. They continue to try to stick this square peg in a round hole, and it's not going to fit. This is the definition in legal terms that we like to say is malicious compliance, right? They did it by waiting until the last possible moment to take Trump's name off the Kennedy Center building. To this day, there remains a tarp on the side of the Kennedy Center building because the president cannot seem to have his name off the building and have the public see the fact that his name is no longer on the building. And now they're going, well, they're going to say we're not renaming the Kennedy Center. We're just putting the president's name underneath the Kennedy Center insignia in an effort to try to maliciously comply with the court order once again. I think this judge is going to have some very choice words for this Kennedy Center board, and I would expect it to quickly be shut down like the first attempt was.
Harry, it is just so petty. It's petty, and it seems also kind of poorly planned. My understanding of the new plan to put Trump's name back on the wall came kind of out of nowhere, including to the people on the board. Quote, a source familiar with today's board meeting told MS Now that the proposed inscription was not included in the agenda that members were given provided 2 days before the meeting. At least one board member said she was not given advance notice that it would be brought up on Thursday. Why do you think they did that? Like, did they actually just, pull this out of thin air at the last minute? Were they afraid of leaks? What's your best theory?
I mean, look, I think Donald Trump is doing this for the same reason that he's doing the reflecting pool, that he's doing the ballroom, that he's doing the monuments. I think Trump, and I'll say this bluntly, is a sad, pathetic, and weak man. And his greatest fear is being realized. If the Democrats sweep the midterms, we take the House and take the Senate, God willing, he fears irrelevancy. He wants to be the star of the show, and after that, he won't be anymore. We'll be focused on the midterms. We'll be focused on investigating everything that Trump has done. We'll be focused on the 2028 election. So he wants to preserve his relevancy by putting his names on things and building the reflecting pool and the ballroom, things like that. But it really is just a clown show overall everywhere you look.
Yeah. I'm not totally convinced that putting his name on the Kennedy Center is going to shield him from all of those subpoenas that may be coming down the pike. Aaron, as Harry pointed out, there are a lot of these Trump vanity projects. There's the ballroom, the installation of a new helipad, which has ripped up the south lawn of the White House. The New York Times' Maggie Haberman told Axios that, quote, 70% of President Trump's mind share, maybe plus or minus 5%, goes to his gilding, construction, renovation, renaming, and tribute projects. And she relayed a story about what was on his mind when she met him in the Oval Office back in March. Take a listen.
You would think that on the 17th day of the war that he would have maps of the Middle East or maps of, troop deployments. Who knows? What he's picks up these pictures and it's of maple trees. And he says, I'm choosing maple trees for the White House. I'm good at picking trees. Under that were designs of the ballroom. It was very clear what his mind was on while we were there. And what it was not really on was the war. He wanted to describe himself as winning. And he wanted to, show us how he had remade Washington.
So, Aaron, how do you think this obsession with these monuments, with this redecoration, with the new shrubbery and everything else, how does that actually play with the public?
I think the public is furious, not just from a national perspective, but also from a DC local perspective. You can't walk down the street in Washington, DC today without running into scaffolding left and right. I will say this, replace Donald Trump's name in that report with Joe Biden. Imagine during the withdrawal from Afghanistan, Joe Biden was picking out maple trees in the Oval Office. James Comer would have impeached him. And the Senate maybe would have even convicted him. But because it's Donald Trump, this is just another story in the headlines. But I will say where I am very interested here is not necessarily in the fact that he's so interested in all these vanity projects and these renovations. I want to follow the money. Who's contributing to these vanity projects? How is Congress's dollars, how are they being misappropriated by this administration? Are they being taken from national parks? Are private donors who are never going to be publicly disclosed donating to these projects? Where is the money coming from? And is there something there? Because ultimately, I think at the end of the day, these vanity projects are covering up for something a lot more sinister behind the scenes.
Yeah, we were talking last night when Tim O'Brien was on the show about which is better. Is it better if the money is coming from companies who are donating in exchange for some sort of favor, quid pro quo, or maybe to get him to lay off of them, protection money, if you will, or is it better if it comes from taxpayers? I mean, they both seem to have pretty dire consequences, no?
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, I don't know which one's better either. If it's coming from taxpayers, then this is money that Congress has not appropriated, and it's a violation of the separation of powers and the three branches of government. If it's coming from private donors, in a lot of ways, I mean, there's so many pay-for-play allegations that can be brought up. And, I mean, then you go into insider trading. And, I mean, there's a whole host of rabbit holes you can go down. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not good across the